Coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios, this is Prime News on SABC 3. Here's what's dominating in your leads at this hour.
Cannot be acceptable to anyone in this house for African people, colored people and Indian people to be poorer and have fewer opportunities than white people.
First up, President Ramaphosa has denounced calls to scrap the Black Economic Empowerment Policy.
It has been alleged that General Sintumule personally benefited from Matala in circumstances that were not disclosed.
The Matlanga Commission has heard that Vusimuzi Cat Matlala paid for a cosmetic procedure, namely a BBL for Lieutenant General Hilda Kosi Sentumele. And 2 suspects, including the son of a former Zimbabwean president, have been detained after shooting and critically injuring a gardener at a Hyde Park residence in Johannesburg. Good evening and welcome to your 8 o'clock news bulletin. You are watching Prime News on SABC 3, your weekly guide to the biggest stories that define our reality. My name is Beki Mutumubinlete, your host for this evening. Let's take a look at what's on the agenda for tonight. President Ramaphosa has denounced calls to scrap the Black Economic Empowerment Policy. He has also taken a swipe at some ministers in the Government of National Unity, accusing them of claiming government achievements for political gain. The president was responding to the debate on his State of the Nation address.
The president has once again called on political parties to unite in finding solutions to the country's challenges. He says the country is making progress following 8 years of rebuilding state institutions, and the president is also hopeful that South Africa is on the cusp of rapid economic growth. However, he shot down calls to scrap BEE.
It cannot be acceptable to anyone in this house for African people, colored people and Indian people to be poorer and have fewer opportunities than white people. It cannot be acceptable.
And he also warned members of his executive.
So no minister or deputy minister should be publicly claiming their work in the GNU as an achievement of their party. In many cases, the basis for their achievements were laid before they even came into office.
He also dismissed suggestions that the private sector investments in ports, rail and electricity sectors amounts to privatization.
Let me be clear, we are retaining the public ownership. For those who believe that we are privatizing, all we are doing is to bring in strategic partners.
The President Ramaphosa says 2026 will be the year of the national dialogue, which will take the country forward. Tulelani Philip, SABC News, Parliament.
Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya has alleged that Vusimuzi Cat Matlala paid for a cosmetic procedure called a BBL for Lieutenant General Hilda Kosi Sentumele. Sentumele, who is currently keeping Sibiya's seat warm as the acting Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Detection, previously appeared before the Commission and gave evidence which included her adverse views on the disbandment of the Political Killings Task Team. The mystery cop, who allegedly received a BBL or Brazilian butt lift procedure, courtesy of Vusimuzi Cat Matlala, has been unveiled as Lieutenant General Hilda Sentumele. This as Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya, in his testimony, shifted the question of Cat's alleged close association with high-ranking SABC officials from him to Sentumele.
It has been alleged that General Sintumule personally benefited from Matala in circumstances that were not disclosed. These allegations include that certain elective medical procedures were performed by medical practitioners, the cost of which were paid for by Mr. Matlala. I am advised that these benefits were not declared through any formal disclosure.
Sibiya further came armed with a recording against Sentumele in a bid to show that the views she advanced before the Commission on the disbandment of the PKTT were not those she held with him in a telephone call in 2025.
She was openly critical of the PKTT. Especially, I recall a particular telephone conversation in which General Sentumele expressed the view that the PKTT was untouchable and alleged that, in her opinion, the task team was being used to siphon the budget allocated to it.
This formed part of a long list of allegations Sibiya made about his counterparts, as he seemingly distanced himself from the allegations against him by raising additional issues. However, cross-examination would see the lens placed back on him, as his claim that the Murray report stated that the task teams must be disbanded was dismantled before the probe.
So simple point is, nowhere do we see anything that recommends closure in respect of task teams, a category under which the PKTT falls.
Chairperson, let me accept.
The hearings continue. Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Pretoria.
Next up, 2 suspects, including the son of a former Zimbabwean president, have been detained in police custody after shooting and critically injuring a gardener at a Hyde Park residence in Johannesburg. Gauteng police spokesperson Colonel Dimakatso Nebahulwi confirmed that the firearm and cartridge allegedly used in the incident are still missing. Authorities have indicated that investigations are ongoing as efforts continue to reconstruct the circumstances surrounding the incident.
During the day, the 2 people, they were taken in for questioning following a shooting that happened in Hyde Park, whereby a man, a 23-year-old man, was shot and then he sustained injuries. He's currently in hospital. I can now confirm that the police have officially arrested the 2 suspects and they will be charged with attempted murder. They are expected to appear before Alexandra Court within 48 hours. At the moment, I cannot confirm the circumstances that led to this incident, but like I've already indicated, our team of investigators, they are still trying to work around and also establishing as to what led to this shooting and what is their actual motive. We have not been able to find the gun, and should I also confirm and put it in record that the suspects that have been arrested, their identity cannot be released until they appear before court.
Received an update that Gauteng police have returned to the crime scene of the shooting incident, and upon arrival to comb through the scene for the missing firearm and cartridge, they found and seized a vehicle in the property believed to be fitted with police white lights. Police allegedly found the vehicle making its exit from the premises, and the vehicle is reportedly to have had 3 occupants, 2 men and a woman. The suspects in the shooting incident, however, will remain in police custody until they appear at the Alexandra Magistrates Court to face charges of attempted murder. On to the next thing. The death toll in a bus crash that occurred on the N1 outside Louis Trichardt in Limpopo now stands at 5. Preliminary investigations by the Department of Transport indicate that the bus lost control along a curvy mountain pass. The bus was traveling from Gauteng to Musina when it fell into an embankment in the early hours of Thursday morning.
We are losing people at the same spot. Like we said last year to the minister to say we must do something here at this corner, because we can't allow the same thing to happen every now and every day, because people loses their life while on the way at the same spot. So our concern is whether we can say they must slow down or not. We don't know what happened, because once the driver loses control, it means the person was speeding or there was a mechanical fault with the bus. We don't know, but this the concern that I'm having always to say during the early hours or late hours, there are accidents that are happening, especially on this N1 road here next to Ingwe Lodge.
This bus was hired. This bus doesn't operate like Swiss bus, like Revival, like Bravo, whereby the owner will be aware of that. It is 20 passengers, 13 passengers, something like that. Normally when these cars hire the bus, we check the distance and agree on money. How many passengers are going to be the bus? How many guys are going to be the bus crew? We don't interfere on that.
And in terms of the roadworthiness of the bus, do we know if the bus was in a good condition to travel such a long distance?
Yes.
Don't go anywhere, because when we return, we shine a light on convicted murderer and rapist Amber Lee Hughes, who has told the Johannesburg High Court that to this day she regrets killing Nada Jane Shalita. We bring you the details after the break. Welcome back to Prime News on 3. Convicted murderer and rapist Amber Lee Hughes told the Johannesburg High Court that to this day she regrets killing Nada Jane Shalita. Hughes drowned the 4-year-old girl in a bathtub filled with cold water. She says that she has found solace in a correctional facility that has kept her away from a man she claims changed her life for the worst.
Nobody here, especially the media, knows what's going on behind the scenes, what I'm going through in prison.
Sharing her traumatic experience inside prison, the convicted 26-year-old Amber Lee Hughes told the court how she suffered abuse at the hands of her former partner. She says she was isolated from her family by the man she deeply loved.
Eli pushed me to a point where I felt like he was all I had. And at that time, I didn't have anything else except for him because of how he isolated me and abused me.
She told the court of her ongoing regret, stating that she continues to struggle with the profound emotional consequences of her conduct.
It doesn't mean that because I'm standing here in court that I'm not crying. I'm crying as much as possible, especially after days like this. But there's a part of me that wants to show this man that he didn't destroy my life. And I know he was trying to. And I'm not suffering. Something happened that I wish never happened, but I'm so happy to be away from this man now.
Court had to adjourn on Thursday to grant the defense an opportunity to access some files that were retrieved from the convicted killer's cell phone. The defense believes that such information would assist in mitigating sentence. Calvin Dludla, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Also on our radar, public sector unions are mobilizing for nationwide protests against the government employees' medical scheme, GEMS. This follows a decision to hike membership contributions by 9.8% this year, with a minor adjustment to 9.5% slated for April.
Trade unions in the Public Service Coordinating Bargaining Council maintain that the GEMS medical aid contribution increase are economically unjustifiable, socially regressive and inconsistent with the founding mandate of the government employees medical scheme.
We are looking at the increase that has accumulated over time, because in 2025, and that is not even looking way back to other years, but if we were to take it from 2025 itself, GEMS implemented an increase of 13.4%. Now, when you add that to the increase of 9.8%, which was revised from February to 9.5%, we are talking of around 23% increase. Now, that is a very high increase.
They unilaterally went on and put on this increase over and above the fact that, the Medical Schemes Council has recommended to them that, an increase of 3.3% would actually be reasonable. And so they tripled that and went way above.
Workers received 5.5% salary increase last year, which was then swallowed in January by the hikes that GEMS have given. There is no balance in between. We cannot allow that. The economy is not good for the workers. What they have received, they are not able to really bring something home.
The unions plan to roll out a program of mass action, starting with demonstrations at the GEMS head office this weekend, followed by lunch hour pickets on the 24th of February and a National Day of Action at the GEMS head offices in Pretoria later next week. Katlego Logodi, SABC News in Johannesburg.
Thank you for staying with us. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew of the British royal family, has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. It relates to his time as trade envoy and the alleged sharing of confidential material with the late sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein. He has not been charged and has long denied any wrongdoing.
On Thursday morning, local time, cars arrived at the Sandringham estate in Norfolk in the east of England, where Andrew Mountbatten Windsor now lives in a property owned by his brother, King Charles. It's believed those cars were unmarked police cars, and shortly afterwards, there was a statement issued by Thames Valley Police. It said that as part of the investigation, we have today arrested a man in his 60s from Norfolk on suspicion of misconduct in public office, and they're carrying out searches at addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk. Well, Norfolk is in relation to where Andrew Mountbatten Windsor lives now, and that reference to Berkshire, you would assume, is them searching where he used to live in a property on the Windsor Castle estate. What is telling, though, and what this statement goes on to say, is that following a thorough assessment, we have now opened an investigation into this allegation of misconduct in public office. It's important that we protect the integrity and objectivity of our investigation as we work with our partners to investigate this alleged offence. So certainly Thames Valley Police, who are looking into this, are taking this up a step by making an arrest. This, of course, all relates to the alleged handing over of documents.
Next up, we take a look at the latest market snapshot reflecting the day's trading activity as recorded at 7:30 this evening. Coming right up. It is now time for your daily dose of weather wisdom, and our experts are waiting in the fold with all of your details. Your forecast is coming up next.
A very good evening to you. Let's take a look at all your weather details now. Well, in the Western Cape overnight, you can expect some partly cloudy conditions along the south coast, as well as southeasterly winds up to 30 kilometers an hour. Partly cloudy conditions expected in the rest of South Africa this evening. Isolated showers in the northern and central parts of the country, but be on the lookout for some scattered rainfall along the eastern escarpment overnight. Ahead towards tomorrow, scattered showers shifting southwards in the forecast, now possible through parts of the Eastern Cape, whilst isolated showers are in our forecast for Friday through the central and northern parts of South Africa, extending westwards towards the Northern Cape. Cape Town expecting a cloudy day tomorrow, wind speeds up to 40 kilometers an hour. That's again from a southeasterly direction. Now ahead towards this evening's alerts, please be on the lookout for the potential of severe thunderstorms along the eastern escarpment, and head towards tomorrow, severe thunderstorms again a possibility along that eastern escarpment. So please be on the lookout for that. Port St. John's dropping to 19 degrees overnight, Gqeberha down to about 18 in the eastern Cape. Cape Town dropping to 19, whilst in the central parts it's high teens for Bloemfontein this evening. Johannesburg down to 17, Polokwane 18 overnight, warming up on Friday afternoon to a maximum of 31. A hot day in store for Lephalale and Messina in the mid-30s. Johannesburg up to 27 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Durban up to 29, Gqeberha 25, and Cape Town up to a maximum of 31. A quick look into the weekend, and the middle of the weekend says very hot conditions in the western parts of South Africa. Southeasterly winds blowing up to 40 kilometers an hour along the peninsula, whilst cooler temperatures are expected in the Eastern Cape and parts of KwaZulu-Natal with scattered showers in your forecast, and it remains warm in the Northwest Province, Gauteng and the northern parts of the Free State. Isolated showers in the forecast over there. That's it from me. Have a great evening.
And that is a wrap for this evening. Thank you for spending your time with us. We are back with you again tomorrow night with more updates that impact your world. Be sure to lock in. And until then, from myself, Becky, and the Prime News team, take care.